All right, folks, Pinpoint Composting 2. It's just hit 160. We were over 160, so last 3 days it just finally went down today. And so we're gonna wait down until it goes to 140 before we even mess with this pile. So maybe another week, 2 weeks, it'll go down, and then we'll start messing with it. Right now I'm emptying Pinpoint Composting number 3, which we're using this 55-gallon drum, which we are gonna call like a black soldier fly. Right there. We're going to call this bin Eve 55. Eco Vertical 55. It's a 55-gallon drum, and it's a great Eve tool. It's a grow tower. It's a composter where you don't have any smell, and we're going to prove that with this very gross stuff I'm going to be adding to this. This is very smelly. I've got some dairy in there. Everything, folks. So I'm draining it right now. What little it's in there, and then we're going to add some 2 buckets worth of compost, very smelly compost. This one's been for a very long time being fermented. Both of those buckets were. I don't even know what's in that one. It's so bad, but smell is atrocious. And so here we are. This is 2 pails, 2 6-gallon buckets of slurry or house compost. And we have got into the red. This is good news right here, folks, because as you can tell, no liquid is being lost in this process. This liquid that I'm have here, or will be saving, is going to go here. When this starts to dry out, I'm going to use this liquid here to reactivate this up back up to 160. Why here, folks, is if we just leave our compost in here, after we add our reds, come spring, we won't even have to take it out of here. We'll just grow food out of it. So that's exciting on many levels. When you add the wheels to it, you got a mobile garden. Add the engineering part to it, you have mechanized towers that move amongst us like some intelligent animals. So let's pack this with some liquid slurry house compost, and let's open it up first of all. I see some kind of ants or something that got in there somehow. Open this up. And it must have got in through this little hole here. You could feel the heat here. Not too much of a smell. I see a baby fly there. I don't know, it just flew out of there. You could feel the heat. Again, we're up to 130, over 130. Shooting up to 140. If I left it alone, no doubt, a couple more days, we would have got the 160 heat. So let's add some of that slurry, and we'll start like we did with this pile. And with Pinpoint, we'll start baking this material and bake the smell out of it and bake the grossness out of it and turn it into compost so we can grow food with it. All right, I'm going to take this brown thing off. I thought the brown cover was just a way to mute the color a little bit instead of having blue. So this is all this is just a... Let's just... Okay, I have 2 holes for my thermometer. When it gets up a little higher, I'll put the thermometer in here. We have 8 Eve fittings, which work great for worm bins and composting bins. So the thought is the air's coming in here. Some's coming in through the bottom. Some's coming through the bottom too, but I think most of the air is coming through here. Down here, when I put the holes in here, that's how the whole thing is getting aeration. You know it's getting aerated because, again, of that very high heat. So let's add some slurry to this right now. All right. Like this. And then we'll go like that. Have a good angle like that. All right, that's the angle we're going to use today, okay? All right, so we just got back from my daughter's recital. Amazing, New York City. So, all right, let's lift this up here. Pour this right in here for now, and then we'll add it to here like this. Some dairy on that one. That's why it's stinky winky. Now we'll add this other bucket, which is very stinky. Right here. And folks, the beauty about this system is you can do it in your garage, you can do it in your sheds. You can do it closer to home, so you don't have to go far back. You don't have to go so far back. Why? because it's very hard to get the smell out of here. If you cover your grossness with carbon, that's a plus. You know, of course, with this, again, we're going to be using minced cardboard, minced paper with this, micro shredded. And so after we throw all that gross stuff in, we're going to put a carbon on top of that. That'll greatly reduce the smell. Then we'll put that plastic thing on top of that, and that will even double the stuff. Unlike this design here with the dog crates, which I'm going to abandon if I get the same kind of heat in this thing that I get with this thing. I might as well go with 55-gallon drums, because there's so many applications. Again, you got your composter first, then you've got your worm farm that you'll add your worms after the thermophilic stage is done, and then you'll grow food out of the same container. And then, let's say you're in the cities or something like that, and you have a bunch of these, you start, first of all, you start your garden out. Anybody, start with one 55-gallon drum, experiment in composting using my method, which is guaranteed very high heats for a very long time. 140 to 160 Fahrenheit, folks. That's amazing. For a very long time. We're talking probably 3 months of very high heat that we get out of these. So that's amazing. Baking it nice. So the problem with this one here is I think the liquid gets into this cardboard, seeps through, and then you smell it that way. So we're getting a little bit of a smell here. That'll go away the longer this heats up, though. But right now, this bucket here, look, it's got all the maggots. I had it capped, so these guys are all dead. But this is totally gross stuff right here. Totally. I don't even want to touch it. Wicked gross. Okay. Now, great way. Oh my God. I got to cover it quick before my neighbors smell this. All the maggots on the side here. All the maggots. I capped it, so I got to get a card so I can clean this bucket a little better. You can already see the flies smelling it and coming towards it. This one especially. These cards work good for cleaning this kind of stuff out of here. Very good. And I'll just pour some of this in here for now. And put it into our Eve 55, like this. All right? Don't get a drop of that on you. All right, so that's two. Now let's get this one. Oh, I don't know where the heck this bucket was found. But when all is sacred, nothing wasted, sometimes you find a gem somewhere. Very gross right here. Very gross smell. But I have no doubt when I have this finished, there'll be absolutely no smell, and we'll get that heat going up again, and such goes the process. All right, a little of that liquid came out of one of my aeration holes. Not my aeration hole, my hole that I use for my thermometer. Let's get some of this liquid out now. That'll come out. Let me get my pokey thing here. There we go. That's a little too wet, one would think. But we'll get all this liquid out. I'm certainly not going to chop it up now when it's liquid like that, because all of that will fly right in my face. And I don't want it flying in my face. Okay. That was a little too much liquid in that one. I don't know where the heck that bucket came from. But we'll get the liquid out of here, from here. We'll put it in here, and we'll use that liquid to activate this one here. Okay. There it comes. It's starting to come out faster now. Go like this. Maybe I might use this thing to help get it. What's going on here? There we go. This will help get it faster. I'm going to add a lot of carbon to this one. Probably 3 buckets full. Oh, by the way, this tool, if you're going to use the E55, is a must, because rather than turn your compost, you have to fluff it, because this thing gets very heavy. So you're not going to be able to turn it. So you got to fluff it, which is good because it's a lot easier to fluff than turn, in my personal opinion. There we go. G.I. Joe. Nice. There. This is the machine, folks. It seems gross to most, but it will be soil. As we've proven time and time again, this will become soil. This is, once again, the biodiversity lost in our outdated commercial growing practices. So, if you followed some of my videos, you'll see I had a lot of cardboard in here that I dumped in here. Lift this up like a valve. Boom. Pour it in there. Boom. Boom. Alrighty then. Alright, let me go get some carbon and chop this stuff up. Boy, does that stink. Stinky, stinky, stinky. Not worried about it though, guys. The stink only lasts until the process is done, so we're not worried about that. Let's put this over here, and let me go get some carbon. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. See the flies flying around here, right? I'm going to do about probably 3 of these carbons. Let's lift this up like that. Well, all right, folks. As you can tell, like our Eve growing practices, with the liquid coming out here, we're not losing anything. So it's a closed system. This is going to be very important for people who live in the city and they don't want smells and they want to be able to do it on their balconies. Imagine that. Now, my house has a lot of compost, but people who live just with one, 2 people, you're not going to create as much compost as we do. Yeah, nice. Chop it up fine. Yeah, baby. This holds the key. Get a lot more of that carbon in there. Mix it all in there good. It's like stoking a fire or baking a cake, right? It's a recipe, but we're just going buckets. All right, so far we put 2, 3, 4, about 5 buckets, 4.5 buckets we put into here so far. Now, this slurry, I'm not ready to put onto here yet. But I'll cap this bucket that's right here that I'm putting this in. I'll cap it. That'll ferment and make it more, give it more activating power, if you will, is the hope. I think this is going to rock the urban farming world. And I'm going to share it. I'm open sourcing it. And of course, again, the E55 is your compost bin, your worm farm, and then your grow tower. And then repeat. I don't know how many I'll be juggling in the future, but it depends where I'm going to be growing next. So it's certainly not around here because there's not much sun in this yard here. But there's a lot of shade, which is good for worm farming. You don't want a lot of sun. All right. Nice. Yeah, after a while, you almost get a feel of when it's going to heat up nice like that. It's going to take the guesswork out of it, I think. All right, let me go get another bucket of carbon. You go down here, the flies are getting crazy right now. But, all right, my second 6 gallon of carbon. All right, we're about halfway up there, but I have a feeling I got about who knows how many more 6 gallon buckets of slurry. I think probably, I hope to get at least 15 to 20 would be nice, because I'm going to get it right up to the top with compost in this one. So an essential tool is a some kind of way to break it up. All right, it's the spade. And of course, this turner, ice auger, compost turner, like this. This will help bring some of that stuff up. Mix it around good. It's work. It definitely is work. But think of the pounds I'm saving from going to the landfill. Think of the pounds I'm saving by the soil I'm not going to need to pick up. And if we all started doing that, how many trucks we wouldn't need. All right. Now I'm bringing this back up, mixing it more with the carbon, and it's starting to stink again. That's all right. Because when I'm done, there'll be no smell. All right, I think I got the girth to get my 160. Each time I put a bucket in, by the time it's time to put a bucket in, my heat is right back up to 160. So again, we're baking everything. We're baking the grossness out of it all.
Hi, I'm Josh Payne with Oklahoma State University. Actually reaching and maintaining a temperature of 131 Fahrenheit for at least 4 hours assures us that we are getting some pathogen reduction. To get a more effective pathogen reduction throughout the entire pile though, we recommend that you hold and maintain temperatures of 131 Fahrenheit for at least 3 days. The heat within the pile is actually due to microbial activity as they are going and consuming the carcass from within the pile. They produce quite a bit of heat, and that's how we reach these hot temperatures in a compost pile.
Freely. No need to plug it in. Can you see how sustainable this is, folks? When you don't have to plug something in. And we're dealing with mass quantities of compost. Okay? This is plastic. All right. How long are we here? 17 minutes. Usually doesn't take that long, but I had a couple buckets tonight. There. That's mixed around nice. I'm gonna go get another bucket of carbon. Then I'm gonna put some holes in it. All right. And repeat. All right. Hold on, I'll be right back. Chop it one more time. All these flies are loving it. Of course. And chop it one more time. Kind of like packing it down. Okay. There. And I think I'll get this one out. Try this. Excalibur flat end. This goes right through, doesn't it? All right. Good. All right. Now we'll put our cover for the smell. This will greatly reduce the smell on its own, right? That'll greatly reduce the smell. Now we'll put some holes. And I think I'm gonna use just this little one for the holes today. It's lighter, and I seem to be able to do the same hole. So again, when the plastic is on here, the air is gonna come through here, go down through these holes, and that's where the aeration is gonna come through. Similar to a Johnson Sioux bioreactor, the way they put their holes in. These holes will remain because nothing's going to move it around, clog the holes. This is going to work fine. I'm psyched because, again, it's a closed loop composting system. I'm not losing anything, as you could tell by the liquid that's coming out below here. Okay, all that liquid. Again, that liquid will go into this pile, and when I start my fourth pinpoint composting bin, or TE55, we won't be losing any liquid. When I pour the liquid onto this one to heat it, of course we'll lose it because it'll go right to the bottom. But the next one, since I'm going to be using these from now on, we're changing once again. We get better, I think, I hope. All right. See, air can get in these. All right, so again, as I close this video out, remember, come join my CBC Facebook. I'll put the link below. It's a private group. Everybody's welcome. And that's where I post updates on it, so I don't have to do a whole video on it. All right? And if you're inclined to do this, please come join the Facebook club and open source your thoughts, because I think this holds potential on so many levels. I have so many ideas that I'm going to do with this particular design, from winter greenhouse, small greenhouse. You got this heat in here. Maybe you can grow some plants up top here. We'll see. Get started early outside, so you don't have to start your plants inside. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It's hot, very hot right now. Had a long day, weekend in New York with my daughter. Congratulations on an amazing show. Oh my God. Just say, wow. Can't help but get emotionally charged to really think that the kids of the future, there's hope for us all when you have people that share their talent like that. Kudos to all her friends too. Awesome show, awesome. Of course, they're seniors at NYU, so you expect nothing less, but it was at Studio 54, which was an amazing thing. They had an amazing dinner rally where we all dressed up and we had proper meals. All right, Mark, stop patting. I think I got enough. Again, this one's not done. When I'm done finishing this, putting food scraps into it, that's when I'll really start working it like I'm working this one. So let's put the plastic on it. And that'll greatly reduce the smell, as I said, like this. And of course, these are all screened in, so nothing gets in, nothing gets out. I'm not gonna put the brown cover around it. We'll think of a way to decorate these so they don't look so blue, more organically. That, boom, boom. You're not gonna smell this pile, guys. You will not smell it. There. So then air is going through here, into there, and down below through the material. So it's an aerobic system. And we know it's getting air. How do we know? Because again, our temperatures are getting outrageously hot. Oh, it's starting to trickle down. So most of that liquid we've gotten out of there. Just like that. Let's get my thermometer. We were at 130, right? No doubt we're down to 80 or something, right? Let's see. I'd like to put it right in the middle. Right in the middle is there. Boom. Just like that. About 100. About 100, which means it's in the active area, which is good. All right. I got flies flying around just because of these buckets that did smell. Put that there. I'll be capping this. All right, guys, you're gonna have to take my word for it, but I smell here, and I don't smell anything. Certainly nothing gross. So that's a good sign. This is Mark from Eve Growing, talking about, first of all, the name of this is E55. So please call it that when you're doing it. You can do 8 or 16 holes all around here. And then these holes are aeration holes and holes to poke your plants in, as I've shown in many other videos. Same build, different application. Tons more hope for this design. I'm rejuvenated by the thought of it all. Okay, everybody, God bless, over and out.
We will most certainly heal this planet, one urban farmer at a time.